Welcome guys to another video. Today we are in a 987 Porsche Boxster Spyder. Very rare car. Less than 800 were produced, or at least brought to the US. And this is essentially the most hardcore and most driver focused and lightweight Boxster from the 987 generation. The Boxster Spyder came in the 987.2 generation, so it does have the direct injection engine, no IMS bearing, should be a lot more reliable than the .1. And these cars are still commanding north of $50,000. So what does the Boxster Spyder actually give you over a standard Boxster S? There's actually quite a long list. You do get your money's worth with this car. But the main focus here is weight savings. This does not have a power retractable soft top like the standard Boxster and Boxster S. This has a manual canvas top. So obviously we have it down right now. It's kind of a pain to put on, and it's not 100% waterproof. So this technically isn't a car that's designed to be driven every day. It's more of a nice take it out once a week on a sunny day kind of car. The lack of a power retractable roof saves quite a bit of weight up top, which is exactly where you want the savings. Also, this car comes with these Porsche bucket seats. These seats actually fold down, which I've never seen in a Porsche bucket seat before, so that's pretty dang cool. Not super useful in a two-seater car, but in the 911, these would make a lot of sense, so you can actually access the rear seat. The Spyder also comes with a fixed damper suspension, and it lowers the car about 20 millimeters further, I believe, than the standard Boxster S. This car also comes with lightweight 19-inch wheels, although this one is fitted with the turbo-style wheels. We have these manual pull straps for door handles. The owner told me that if you wanted AC and radio, you actually had to option them back in with this car. Thankfully, this one has both. This car does not have the crappy 987 generation cup holders, which I'm not sure how much weight that saves, but honestly, I'm not complaining because those cup holders are some of the worst designed in history. So overall, the car weighs a touch over 2,800 pounds, so over 150 pounds lighter than a standard Boxster S. The 3.4 liter in this car makes 320 horsepower, so it does have a different state of tune. We're gonna see how this thing handles. Sport mode on for better throttle response, and we have the optional Porsche Sports exhaust enabled. Now, the only modification the owner has done is the numeric shift cables, which makes the shifter way more engaging than the standard Boxster S shifter. This suspension is a lot stiffer than the standard Boxster S or Cayman S suspension. Remember, I used to own a 987.1 Cayman S. I wasn't a fan of it, honestly, from a comfort standpoint, but still, this Boxster Spyder takes it to a new level of firmness out here. This is the last generation Boxster with hydraulic steering, and I definitely do miss it when I'm driving the newer generation cars like the 981. Gearing is pretty long considering the car only makes 320 horsepower. So even out here on this canyon road, I'm mostly in second gear, occasionally shifting to third. What this car lacks in compliance, it definitely makes up for once you start pushing it. This thing just comes alive. It's very much a fingertips driving experience with this light but very full of feedback hydraulic steering rack. Super easy to heel toe. Very good brakes. Typical Porsche. You don't need GT3 or GT4 brakes to have good brakes in a Porsche. It's a common misconception. The standard base model Boxster Cayman 911 brakes are amazing. Classic flat 6 howl from this 3.4 liter. Yes, this car feels so lightweight. The weight savings, wow, over the standard Boxster S and Cayman S, very significant. And we're only on a Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tire, not the grippiest tire in the world, but more than adequate for this canyon road. The suspension, while it does feel really good in the smoother sections of the road, over bumps at high speed, it is a little bit twitchy. So is this car worth the premium over a standard Boxster S? Although the weight savings are significant, it doesn't feel like a radically different car. It's only marginally quicker. But if you're looking for that little bit more of a hard edge driving experience over a standard 987, this car is fantastic. The standard 987 is already such a driver focused and engaging car, and this just sharpens it up that little bit, just that little extra 10 to 15% that makes it come really alive. This car's center of gravity, I believe, is about 25 millimeters, or about an inch lower than a standard Boxster S. And honestly, I can feel it. The way it turns in, the way it holds on mid-corner, I would say the front end of this car feels almost as sharp as a 997 GT3. Meanwhile, it gives you that really amazing mid-engine balance that the 911s don't necessarily give you. So how does the Boxster Spyder stack up amongst all the Porsches I've driven, which is a very long list that I've driven lately? I would say it does a really good job at bridging that gap between a standard non-GT Porsche and the GT Porsches. This doesn't give you the same level of motorsport or track-focused feel, but I would say the lower cost of entry makes it a very enticing proposition. 320 horsepower in a 2,800 pound car is just the perfect sweet spot in my opinion. It doesn't need any more power than this. If anything, I would prefer it to have slightly shorter gearing, just so I could enjoy the engine at the top of its rev range a little more frequently. So that was just a quick spin in the 987.2 Porsche Boxster Spyder. Truly a special car, drop dead gorgeous in my opinion for the 987 generation, which is a generation that I've never been hugely fond of from a styling standpoint. The details on the Spyder really make it look that little bit more special. Really harks back to the old Porsche 550 Spyder. So if you can still find one of these for sale, I would say it's definitely not a bad buy. These will definitely hold their value over time. Now the car I'm really itching to drive next is the 987.2 Cayman R. If any of you guys have one of those, please hit me up. Pretty soon here I'll have a comprehensive list of all the Porsches. Maybe I'll do like a ranking to show you which ones I prefer in terms of pure driving feel. So as always, if you have not subscribed, please do so and turn on those bell notifications. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.